Howdy folks, Nathan Adlin here with the Fast Lane Car, and I am standing in front of the 2014 Toyota Highlander. It's all new, baby, and we got it up here on the top of this mountain where I'm freezing my ass off, and we're going to do an off-road review and a little bit of driving impressions. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I just hope it's warmer in there than it is out here. .270 horsepower, 248 pound-feet of torque. Not bad. It's hooked up to a 6-speed automatic transmission. This is a 3.5 liter V6, and it's been in a lot of Toyota products. It's plenty powerful. It's moving this vehicle around isn't the easiest thing to do with a 4-cylinder, which you can get with it, or you can even get a hybrid system. This V6 is definitely the way I would go, and one of the reasons why, it can tow up to 5,000 pounds. This is a vehicle that actually spells out a conundrum for me, because on one side people think it's really good looking, on the other side people think it's hideous. I'm right in the middle. It seems to be a mix mash of other vehicles. I can even see some Jeep in some of these lines and a little bit of Nissan Pathfinder. My personal preference is for vehicles like, say, the Mazda CX-9 or the Dodge Durango. But the fact that this is 8 inches off the ground, which is pretty good ground clearance, and it has these fantastic looking wheels, it really helps. And I noticed that the grille looks a little bit like a Lexus. Altogether, I just don't mind the way it looks. It just doesn't blow my skirt up. This is a crossover. You're not going to get the type of performance that you would get out of any type of truck in its class. That's pretty obvious. But you know what's great about going off-road with these crossovers? We're able to find out not only what they can do, but what they can't do. Now think about that. Let's say there's an emergency and you, for some reason, have to go into the dirt. Wouldn't it be nice to know, oh yeah, this vehicle can actually do it? You know, that's huge. So,
Nathan, there's a branch here.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, I'm just gonna go to the next one and turn around there. Yeah, I see it branch now. I'm still recording. I really do like this engine. It's got cojones. Good power, which really does help get you out of situations that are rather slippery and nasty. Because, yeah, this ice and these rocks, they're not very forgiving. These poor Toyos are built specifically for the street, and they do fine on the street. But out here, well, not so much. So I'm using hill descent control, and it's not as aggressive as some of the other systems, but it's also not really letting me do much in terms of modulation. I'm just basically letting it work and do its own thing, and it's good for an emergency if you're too scared to go down a nasty hill on your own with using the brakes, but I do prefer the brakes, especially in this case. Let's just call it something that's convenient for some people. Well, I'm glad I did lock the center diff. It's actually pretty slippery. A lot of ice on top of the rocks, and then there's snow on top of the ice, so it makes it kind of challenging. Well, it's fun. I'm about to go through a really big, fairly deep rut that has a lot of water in it and crunchy ice and what have you, which is terrific because Andre's filming next to it, and I think I can cover him completely, head to toe. Alright, away we go. Keep this thing in first gear so I can torque it, and away we go. And I totally covered him! Roman and I have had a chance to take one of these, actually a few of them, on roads all throughout Santa Barbara, and it drove great. I think I would put this on the top half of ride and comfort in terms of its competition. Now, the most squishy ride out there is definitely from the Ford Explorer, which does compete with the Highlander. I would take the Highlander over the Explorer. I love the Explorer Sport, but that's a whole different ball of wax. That is a vehicle that is built for extreme high speeds, and it's really, really expensive. But in terms of the vehicles that fit in this bracket and the overall ride, this is one of the best. Isn't this cool? I love having this type of extra window hatch. Not many vehicles do that anymore. By the way, combined MPG, 20 miles per gallon. Now, that's not great, but remember, this is the big V6. There is a hybrid version which gets better gas mileage, and there's also a 4-cylinder version which probably does better as well. But most importantly, it is competitive for its class versus other vehicles with the V6. You okay?
Go.
You okay?
No, I have to go to the bathroom.
Well, then go. Oh, shit. Literally. Okay. Let's get this done then. Rolling?
Yes.
Okay. 3, 2. I'm holding the sticker right here, and everything combined, the total MSRP, $43,590, delivered $44,450. Now, that is with the V6. That's with the panoramic roof. That's with the leather interior. It's with the upgraded sound system. And basically, it's top of the line. So, 45,000 bucks basically for this vehicle. I say it's worth it because the only other vehicle I could think of in its class that I would prefer, and a lot of you I think would prefer as well, is the CX-9 or, once again, maybe even the Pathfinder. Although, in terms of its overall packaging, I still think that this is one of the best vehicles you can find. A little bit more momentum there. Now we're off-road, as you can see, and articulation, not so good. It's a crossover. What are you going to do, right? But the real problem here are these tires, which are absolutely fine, these Toyos, in the street. They're fine in snow. They're fine in light mud. But on slippery rocks like this, they're very, very unhappy. It's a shame because it's actually got a really good power and pretty good torque. Now, I'm in its natural element. When I refer to natural element, I mean roads, ones without rocks on them. This new Highlander is smooth, it's pretty quiet. It's tight enough to feel, potholes and what have you, but at the same time, the overall ride is sophisticated. It's got just enough firm to let you push through a corner and you know that you've got stability, just like I'm doing right now. And at the same time, go over a little bump, no big deal. So it's a very comfortable ride. And this is with the large 19-inch wheels, which, by the way, I think are absolutely gorgeous on this thing. So the ride is great. The handling is pretty damn good. Brakes were really good. I've actually planted them a few times in the past. And in terms of its steering feel, well, it is a crossover, so you're not going to get a lot. In fact, the only vehicles you can really get good steering feel on are, once again, the Dodge Durango and the Mazda CX-9. And even those don't give you a lot. So, these aren't exactly sports cars. But with that said, the weight in the steering is perfect for anybody who likes just a little bit of give and at the same time likes a firm feel. So it's just right. Now, obviously, this is not an off-road vehicle, but we at the Fast Lane car are stupid enough to take it off-road anyway. And you know what? It does okay. I like the fact that it has 8 inches of ground clearance, and it does have a center locking diff, which is really good for mud and snow, and frankly, I don't think half the people out there are even going to need it ever. With that said, on the TFL scale of buy it, lease it, rent it, or forget it, I give this a buy it in the V6 form. We've driven the hybrid, we've driven the 4-cylinder. This is the best one by far. And you know what? Toyota, you kicked ass. You're now more competitive once again.